Chafing Armor Podcast, episode 66. I put a spell on you. Welcome back to the Chafing Armor Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Corley, and with me tonight is my dog. My dog right here. He's fast asleep, and he fell asleep on the blanket that I was going to cover my microphone with, and I didn't have the heart to move him, so he's just, if you hear some light snoring in the background, that's who it is. But much more importantly, with us tonight is James. James, tell everyone who you will be playing.
Hi, everybody. I am playing Penton Chalice, a spell scale sorcerer of middling renown, I guess now. Well, actually, no, I'm not playing him. I'm playing a bird.
That's right. And the bird is the word, which is what I should have called this episode. And also with us is Izzy. Izzy, tell everyone who you are playing.
I am playing the boar, formerly known as half-orc barbarian Marezi Mugra.
Couldn't put it better myself. And finally, last but not least with us is Dare. Dare, tell everyone who you are playing.
I am playing Tix Berchmanson, formerly a gnome cleric and now a Krabby Patty.
Money. And Lee may be joining us in a little bit, but right now his character is exactly the same as he always was, a big old man bear who is struggling a little bit. When we last left off, our wonderful adventurers had been changed, as they mentioned, into animals, but they have retained their humanoid intelligence. They have fought off strange lizard-like creatures, including 2 mummy lizards, and made their way to the outskirts of a great coliseum after crossing a huge chasm. And they met a deaf wolf named Otho, who had decided to join them in their cause as they found their way further and further in to this coliseum. And that's where our story picks up. You are outside this giant coliseum. Imagine the Roman Colosseum. Imagine it is also partially in ruins. It is, of course, being drenched in rain. You can actually see a spout of rain shooting up from the middle as it goes into the sky. Around it are various figures. You can definitely make out other lizard mummies patrolling the outside. Occasionally you can see other lizard men people. These are different than the lizard men that you know are on the Pinta Plains. They look more like velociraptors who are humanoid. And some of them, a very few of them, are albino. Most of them are black. And what would y'all like to do?
I'm gonna go up to the Colosseum and see if anyone reacts to my presence.
I will say, by the way, you can also see, not like don't imagine like Noah's Ark, because this has been going on for a little while now, but there is a regular stream of animals of every kind that are just sort of randomly walking to the Colosseum. So what you are doing would not totally be out of character from what everyone is seeing, just so you're aware.
Right, yeah, I feel like we should not draw attention to ourselves and just kind of walk up and like everybody else is and kind of get the lay of the land.
One quick thing, you do have a humanoid with you, and that is Osokai, who is struggling mightily, which is why he's not talking very much. But what would y'all like to do about him?
Tix will side crawl over to him, and I will do my best to cast a restoration spell on him.
Oh,
interesting.
And see if that has any effect on his struggle against this curse.
Okay. You scuttle on over, little sideways walk, everyone imagine, and the little piano sounds of his little tiny feet. And you reach one of your large claws over and touch him and cast Restoration. It does actually help a great deal because he was starting to be in a very, very bad way. That basically his muscles are starting to contract in on himself, and he's starting to have perpetual Charlie horses. So this restoration does repair or remove that. However, it doesn't get rid of it because he's still being affected by the rain. So it basically reset everything. Kind of took him back to basics. So he's a little more functional now, but it has not gotten rid of it. But more to the point is if y'all walk up, he's probably going to be noticed, whereas y'all will likely not be.
Does he not still have his bear hat?
He does. He absolutely does.
I would like to convince him to put that bear hat on.
Okay. What form would you suggest he take?
I would probably bear. I mean, that's what he's used to.
He's done it before. He whips out that hat that he was told in a letter to hang on to, and he puts it on, and instantly he becomes a bear. He looks exactly like a bear who's standing up, and as y'all walk closer, he finally falls onto all fours and begins to walk like a bear, which is somewhat awkward, but he makes it work. And y'all apparently are completely unnoticed. No one stops you. No one challenges you. They just look at you. There are several mummies just staring blankly at you, and you see a few little groups and gaggles of these lizard men walking, and you can actually overhear some of them talking as they go by.
Well, I'm kind of interested to see there has to be a reason everybody's showing up other than, I want to see what's causing this to happen. I mean, somebody made this rain happen, and they're drawing all these creatures in for a reason. Let's go find out why.
Okay.
Let's hope it's
maybe
not
a
dinner.
perception or investigation check might be in order.
Okay. Just give me a straight roll, and you can add your intelligence modifier, Marezi.
Oh, what?
Should I just use my intelligence modifier of my orc form?
Yes.
Oh, that's a 0, so let's see.
Because none of your mental skills have been affected.
4.
A 4. Yes, you can definitely tell there are other animals here.
Wow.
Let me give a shot at it and see what
And
happens.
so
here.
will the crab.
Okay, go for it.
I got a 16.
All right.
I got a 16 as well.
Ooh,
Ooh.
twinsies.
There's a moment where the crab and the crane do like a Mission Impossible style back to back thing, and they scope out the area, and you see like the heads up display with the little readouts coming down. So here's some things that you see. There is a great concentration towards the middle of the Colosseum. The middle of this Colosseum sinks downwards, and it actually opens up into an underground area that was clearly not meant to be part of the normal Colosseum. Like, it literally opens up into like a sort of cavernous area that you can only see part of. Towards the center, heavily guarded, you can see a figure, a woman. You can't quite tell if she's human or elf or something like that. And her hands are wrapped around a figurine of some kind. It is a dragonish figurine. And wrapped around her is a wyvern. And the wyvern is cuddling up to her, and she is occasionally taking one hand off the figurine and rubbing her hand over the wyvern's head. You see a couple of other things, because y'all both rolled really well. Very lackadaisically, the animals are walking up generally towards her. But as they do, these lizard men kind of herd them, and they're not even trying hard. They just sort of nudge them. And every once in a while, if one of them is a little incalcitrant, you see one of them pick up one of those leather whips that Osokai has and cracks it, and then the animals divert and follow them. And they are being led towards some pins. And as you're there, you hear a screech come out from the pins, as if an animal is being slaughtered.
That's fun. I don't like that much.
No. I really don't want to be a permanent crab cake.
So with the 16 roll, that's what all you see, which is quite a lot.
All right. Am I sensing a feel around anywhere?
Yes, now that you are within, I believe it's a mile, or a certain range, you are able to detect her again, but you are unable to summon her back to you mentally.
Right. Any kind of general direction, at least?
You would think that she's probably towards those pins.
Oh, boy.
where all the animals are being corralled.
All right. Do not want. All right.
Is Aki also in that direction?
You have no idea, but
Okay,
there's
right.
no reason for you to think that she wouldn't be.
I am suddenly so much more interested in what's going on. Okay, so fighting those lizard men, terrible choice. Fighting that humanoid lady with the wyvern, also a terrible choice. But I'm not sure what else we can do. Should we poke around more?
Well, everybody's getting close to the. I mean, they're all getting herded in that direction. And it looks like we could get close to the lady with the figurine if we wanted to. So maybe we can head in that direction, get a closer look.
Yeah,
How many lizard men did we see?
There are quite a few. If the entire cohort of all of them were to gather together, you would all be hopelessly outnumbered. Typically, when you see them, what you see is you see usually 3 or 4 of the black ones. And they're usually kind of like honor guard, subservient to walking behind one that has white scales. So they're usually like in little packs of like 3 to 5.
Lizard racism.
Yeah. But hey, think about it. If we can break this spell, all these animals, or at least a lot of them, are going to turn into really unfortunately angry people.
Very possibly.
And then we won't be
I guess
outnumbered.
It's time to scuttle on down to the person in the middle.
The center of it
See
all.
if we can get rid of that little statuette.
Okay. Y'all begin to make your way down there. The ground is just utterly sodden here because it's been raining for an indeterminate amount of time. You can actually see that it's not like it's actually coming out of it. It's like it's being generated by it.
Mm-hmm.
That you can see that maybe 20 feet above the figurine and the woman, that the water is actually shooting up into the air, which is then going up into the clouds. And you know, obviously, y'all see magic. You can tell that this is the source of this rain. There's no doubt whatsoever. You don't need to make any kind of roll for that. I will say one other thing. You do, in general, get the impression that the lizard people are coming to and from that underground cavern area that is very close to where she is.
Makes sense.
And you can actually see a glow coming out from down there as well. I just want to let y'all know that.
What color is this glow? And could you describe its balefulness?
I would have to say its balefulness would be best described as a blue.
What a shocker.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't any kind of like colorful tint to the water, is there?
Not really. I mean,
No.
there's certainly like a kind of a magical as it goes up, but then it just becomes normal rain.
Right. Are you sure it's not purple?
And that's when your character is killed. Anyway, we were actually watching that video just the other day for absolutely no reason. But yes, that there is no color, purple or otherwise, to the rain.
Okay. All right, so let's move on in. Let's walk on down the hall.
I'm going to casually make my way like a meandering animal towards the woman. Act like I'm just meandering, not making any aggressive moves. And then when I get up next to her and just rest against her, I'm going to cast Inflict Moderate Wounds.
Whoa.
Okay.
Right to it.
So I would like you to roll a stealth check to get up to her without being noticed by anyone.
That is a straight 16.
Straight 16.
Oh, yeah. I don't have any dex modifier.
Yeah. The funny thing is, though, that will actually do it. Sometimes it's as simple as that. You just kind of wander up. It's also partially the fact that you're a crab. I don't think that Morezi would be able to sneak up on her without anyone noticing because she's a 500-pound dire boar. But a blue crab in the middle of a rainstorm, yeah, you just kind of walk up. As you get close to her, you can see that she is incredibly emaciated. You can also see that she is an elf. And you'd like to make that cast?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I'm just wanted to let you know that is a touch attack, of course.
Yeah. And that I'm rolling with the 16s tonight. That is what is that? 3 or 4 now?
That is 3 16s in a row, I think.
3
Yep.
16s in a row. So.
And that will definitely hit because she has no armor and does not appear to have any magical protection. And roll for that damage.
And that is 14 points of damage.
14 points of damage. Unsurprisingly, she screams because your little claw just doop, 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 bink, touches her leg. And you see her already emaciated leg. Just imagine it just withering and turning into kind of like a club foot, just turning in on itself and becoming like not quite a stump, but almost a stump. Mm-hmm. And she screams and looks down at you in horror and just says, "Why?" And she touches the wyvern, and the wyvern hisses at you, and its tail, its barbed tail, points up into the sky. And I need everyone to roll for initiative.
Oh, yeah, boy. That's a 20.
A 20. And what is your dexterity bonus as a boar?
Let's see. Whatever the 0, I think.
Okay. Unbelievably, she actually rolls a 20 as well, which is why I asked.
Initiative +3. I have a 20 also.
Oh my goodness.
I rolled a 17 +3. It's 20.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm just going to put you right behind Marezi then for Penton. And Dare.
I got a 13.
13 for Tix. And make a couple of more rolls here. Whoa. Interesting. Okay. Now that I have the order established, she actually goes first. And she looks to you, Tix, and she says, "Why would you do this to me? I love you." And she says, "Asleep!" And I would like you to make a save versus... what is that? I'm sorry. Save versus willpower.
Okay, I can do that. That is a nice 25.
Whoa. So you feel the sleep spell coming over you, and you just go, nope, because you have a high wisdom bonus, and you are very tough mentally, and you just go, nope, 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 and just keep from going to sleep. That will actually bring it to you, Marezi. You are within charging range. You are a little behind.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to gore this lady. I rolled a 10.
A 10. That is very disappointing because, unfortunately, that will not do it. Even though she has no armor, she still
well, that would be a 22 then, right? Because it's +12.
Oh.
I don't actually think the 12 is...
Well, she said that she believed that it was to the damage.
Yeah. I see.
So, which does make sense that the damage would... It doesn't actually make sense that she would have a +12 to hit with a gore. That would be weird, actually.
Base attack is +5.
There you go.
It says on there.
Well, actually, though, that is correct. 15 will actually hit.
Well, no. Does an 11 hit?
No, an 11 does not hit.
Yeah, I rolled a 6 and then I had my base attack bonus.
Okay.
So, my rolls are not good tonight, so...
They are not 16s. So you come up to Gore, and she kind of slowly skips a little bit out of the way. You'll notice that she does not let go of the little dragon figurine. She's holding it with one hand, casting it with the other. She's kind of precariously balanced because one of her legs has just shriveled up, in addition to her shriveled form. But she has not let go of it, and the rain is continuing, just FYI. And that will actually bring it to Penton.
Okay.
Squawk!
I'm going to flap up into the air a little bit, get myself a good vantage point, and I'm going to cast Scorching... Well, is that the right... name for it. Let me get back to my spell list to make sure I'm casting the right thing. Yes, Scorching Ray at the statue.
Okay. At the statue. Just
At
want
the
to clarify.
statue, yes.
Okay. Now we have not. Last time we concluded that Tix is able to cast his spells because they are prayers, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
We had not said whether or not you can cast your spells.
Well, I'm going to try.
You're certainly going to try, and I am going to allow you to because I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it's verbal and somatic, so there's no material component in this one. So
exactly the basic thing. The reason I am allowing you to do this is basically because you are a sorcerer and not a wizard. That you are not quite as componenty as a wizard. That you are just the magic is in you all along.
Let's click
so,
my
but
claws 3 times.
But I demand you describe what it looks like when a crane casts Scorching Ray.
You know that meme with the seagull where it rears its head back and then it blasts the lasers out of its eyes?
Oh, yes.
That is exactly what I'm doing. That is exactly what I'm doing, except it's like a nasty flame ray. But basically, yeah, I'm shooting lasers out of my eyes.
Okay.
All right, let me do this right. Okay, so it is... Yeah, that's plenty of range. Oh, yeah, 4d6 of fire damage. And we're going to call upon Bahamut and feed a little into that as well and put the boxcars on there as well. So let's see what happens here.
Nice.
No saving throw. Okay. Well, it is... Oh, it is a to hit, so I'll need to roll to hit. Let me make sure I've got my base attack number right. Boop, boop. That's a bummer. All right. That is an 18, though, to hit.
That will definitely hit.
All right. Let's roll some numbers.
Scorching Ray comes out of your... Does it come out of your eyes or your mouth?
I'm going to go with the mouth. Just like, just basically puking up flame.
Really bad indigestion.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
right.
Well, I've been holding this all back for a while now. That'd be 23 points of damage.
23. Oh my goodness. So you all hear this hiss as the rain around you just evaporates for a half second as
It's like a halo of mist.
burst. Exactly. As this burst of flame strikes her just full in the chest, just nails her right in the chest. And she is very badly injured. She has taken 37 points of damage, and she falls to the ground, clutching the figurine and just moaning in pain.
I feel like someone should get that figurine.
Well, I was aiming at the figurine.
Oh, I am so sorry. You said you were going for the figurine.
Right.
And I apologize. Let me take that back. So I would like you to roll 1d8 damage. That is how much damage she will take.
Okay.
Just from holding on to it during this blast.
That'd be 6 points.
6. So she's taken 20 points of damage. So you all know she has at least 38 hit points. But the figurine takes 23 points of damage. It superheats, and she drops it. Because she not just that she wants to, but she literally cannot hold on to it. She cries out with a great distress when it drops to the ground. She just like, no! You see the figurine. You're not quite sure what it's made of. You think maybe it's made of something like onyx, some kind of dark stone, and it heats up. You see it like kind of glows slightly, but it does not appear to be like, badly cracked or damaged or something like that.
Okay.
It's not like it's exploded or anything. The second it hits the ground, you do see the spray upward kind of start to like kind of fizzle out a little bit. It hasn't stopped entirely, but the spell looks like it's on the verge of being interrupted. And that is when a wyvern, a very angry wyvern, is going to attack. Now, I'm going to actually say that he's going to attack Tix first, because this is all kind of happening simultaneously. So he would have actually reacted to this first attack first.
Makes sense.
So he is coming down with his giant poisonous tail. And unfortunately, he rolls a unnatural 20.
Okay, and my AC is 20.
And so the did we determine that the defender wins or
The
the
tie
attacker
goes
wins?
to the runner, I think.
That was going to be one of my jokes.
Yeah,
That's
tie
gonna
goes. Tie goes to the defender.
Yes, tie goes to defender. So and he, by the way, he did roll an 18, so it's an unnatural 20. So just like literally what y'all see is the tail comes down and drives into the ground, and it is just like right in front of that little tiny body. Like his whole body was nearly speared by this giant tail. Because remember that wyverns are big enough for people to ride on them. They're not nearly as big as dragons, of course, but they are not small.
He
And
will
so it
get
is very.
in the future, he will get a -2 for my diminutive size.
Oh, very nice. Good call. I like that very much. So that would have been an 18 and would have definitely missed regardless. And that will actually bring it to Tix. This brings us back to you in the normal combat round.
Okay, and since the statuette has been dropped, I will cast Sanctuary on myself and grab the statuette, or cover up the statuette with my body.
Okay. So I'm going to say that normally the statuette would be a little too heavy for you to lift. But do you remember earlier you poured a potion on yourself?
Yes.
And the potion was
Strength.
bull strength. Strength of bull. So y'all just imagine this little tiny crab. And it's not that the statue is monstrous, but it probably weighs like, 30 or 40 pounds. It's big and it's solid and it's stone. And just this little crab goes, ring, and just lifts it up above his head.
I was just, as fun as that is, I was just jumping on top of it.
Okay.
With the sanctuary spell to make sure that neither the wyvern nor the elf girl could get it back.
Okay. I will accept that. Though we all know that could have happened.
Yes.
That will actually bring it to Osokai. And Osokai is going to come running forward. He broom, broom, broom. He is, of course, shifted because he does not have a choice. And he is going to slam into the wyvern and attempt to knock it away. And he gets because he's unfortunately being rolled by the GM and by the dungeon master and not by y'all. He rolls a 9. So he poof, misses. That will actually bring us to the top of the round, which will bring us back to this woman.
I don't think I've gone in like 8 years.
Remember, you attacked and missed, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You were second in the round. But I do want to let you know that one of the white scales is coming towards y'all, flanked by 3 of the black scales. They were unable to get to you in that first initial round, but they are approaching now. It is now her turn, and she is going to cast a spell, which succeeds because she is healing herself. And you see that some of her wounds begin to close up. She heals herself for 12. Okay, yes, 8 total damage that she has taken. And that will bring it to Merezi. You were speaking about not getting a turn?
Sorry, I thought the round had gone twice, not once. Sorry.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm just gonna go after that old lady again. I'll deal with the lizards when they get here.
Okay.
That is a 19.
That will hit.
Thank
Wow.
God.
Now we have established a plus 12 to damage to gore.
Yeah.
Indeed. So that is a 17 points of ouchie damage.
17. Oh my goodness. Yes, so she has now gone back to 25 damage that she has taken as both of your tusks just broom, 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 just jam into her abdomen. That really hurt, and she is thrown to the ground by the force of your gore. And that will bring it to Penton.
Okay. Where are these lizard dudes? They're on approach.
Basically, they're coming up from behind you. They are coming down. There's a slight decline down to this area, and they're coming down the hill.
Okay. Are they anywhere near the spout?
Not really, because
Okay.
the spout's in the center.
Okay.
So y'all are actually closer to the spout than they are.
Gotcha. All right, I'm going to take care of them, and I am going to cast web in their direction.
All right. What is the radius of a web?
It's a 20-foot radius.
20-foot radius. So that will actually cover all of them.
Let's see, they can do a reflex save to not be stuck fast immediately, but they will be inside the webs and have to, slow move, and each round they're in there making their way out, they have a chance of getting stuck. So,
okay. So I will roll that. So the leader rolls a natural 20.
Well, la-di-da.
And all of the other 3 get stuck. And so the leader is able to see it coming, and it's a you're pretty sure it's a female. She ducks out of the way, and so she does have to slow her speed to kind of pick through the rest of the web. But she's not actually trapped in it. Whereas the 3 guards that were kind of flanking her, all of them get webbed as they're coming forward. Are they considered to be restrained?
Basically, let's see if they fail. Creature's entangled, can't move, has to break loose by spinning around and making a DC 20 strength check or a DC 25 escape artist check.
Okay.
Once loose, creature remains entangled, but may move through the web very slowly each round. And each round they have to make a new strength and escape check.
Okay, gotcha. And I didn't mention all 3 of them have a flaming sword. No, I'm just totally kidding.
Hey, if they want to light themselves on fire, that's fine.
No,
and the one that's not stuck doesn't have to do the initial break, but they still have to break their way through the web with the strength or escape artist checks.
Gotcha. So that will actually bring it to the guards. Each one is going to try to break out just with their 2 of them are going to try to strength break out, and one of them is going to try to do escape artist. They all rail terribly, so it doesn't matter.
All right.
Yeah. I think imagine they're all slipping in the mud, and so they're like banging into each other as they're trying. They were all really close together, and it's all that she can do, the leader, to keep from being like pulled in with them, because she's kind of like doing a little hop to dance to not be stuck in the web. So it's not great for them. So they all fail. That will actually bring it to Tix.
Okay. Tix is going to start dragging the little big statue away from her and the wyvern and the lizard people. And magnificent strength of a crab bull, or a bull crab, or a coconut crab. I am going to start dragging it away.
All right. And you, by the way, you do have the ability to lift it above your head, though it would be awkward if your strength wore off while you were holding it. But just so you know, you can.
Clunk.
So you grab hold of it with both claws and just kind of, and it starts dragging away. You are successful.
I have this view that I don't realize my own strength, and I pick it up and flip it and pulls kind of like a SpongeBob, and the statue just kind of carries me sailing through the air with this perplexed look on my face as I've lifted it up off the ground and jerked myself like Thor.
It is as nothing to you. You basically have like the strength of Osokai or Morezi right now, and it's doubly confusing because you're not used to being that strong, and certainly not used to being that strong while that tiny, and it just whoop comes up and just you start moving out of range. Speaking of Osokai, he is going to try and attack the wyvern to knock it down. He rolls a 17, which is successful, and actually does 13 points of damage to the wyvern with his claws as he slashes into the side, and the wyvern screeches out and lets out a hideous roar. you actually, Penton, make out like kind of a half-garbled draconian curse as it speaks like a very basic, very guttural draconian.
Stupid.
But we will not repeat that for because of our PG rating. And that will actually bring it to the albino one, and she is going to pull a flask from her little. She's got like a bandolero, not dissimilar to the one that what did you call him? Pseudo-Anna?
Yeah.
Pseudo-Anna had, and she takes it and she's going to hurl it sort of halfway between all of you. Well, I say that not you would not be affected, Morezi, because she hurls it in such a way she's trying to hit both Tix and Penton
Nice.
in the blast radius. You think perhaps she's trying not to hit the woman, and Morezi, of course, you are immediately attacking her. But all of the rest of you, there is a fiery explosion.
Oh.
As it basically just goes outwards. Just basically, it's a grenade for all intents and purposes, and I would like you all to make a reflex saving throw. Oh, I apologize. Of course, she does not realize that you have Sanctuary, so it does absolutely nothing to you.
Crab has Sanctuary and feels toasty safe.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so reflex save, all right. Non-natural 20.
That will definitely do it. So you are going to take half damage. She rolled terribly with a potential maximum of 20. She got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you will take 4 points of damage. Osokai actually takes 8 points of damage. As he does get blasted by the flames. But you take 4, which I know is not nothing considering you are a bird.
Right.
But you did still imagine to evade some of it, and she is trying to pick her way very slowly through, and that is all she can do. And that actually brings it back to the top of the round. Woman is actually trying to run towards you, Tix, and she is trying to grab the statue from you. Now, here's a conundrum. You have Sanctuary, so you are immune to attack, but would you be immune from someone just simply taking the statue from you?
Well, a grapple is a kind of attack.
Depends on whether or not I could interpose my body between her and what she is reaching for.
Okay. So what I would rule is that she cannot damage you, because obviously that would instantly negate it. So I will allow you to make a reflex opposition to her.
Sounds
and
good.
I will also give you a +2. I'm sorry. Actually, it's a total of +4. 2 is for your diminutive size, and the other 2 is for the fact that you have Sanctuary on.
Okay.
She actually rolls a total of 19.
And I rolled, and it was a +4, so I rolled a modified 8.
Wow. So she just barely lays her fingers on this and pulls it away from you. And just, in fact, I would imagine like even your little legs, like you're lifted off the ground as she picks it up. And she's just, you see there's a look of just madness in her eye of like, give it back, he's mine. And she grabs hold of it, and Penton, you notice the water begins spraying up full force again above us. But if you're thinking of it a different way, you did also keep her from attacking, so there is that.
True.
And that will bring it to Morezi.
I want to charge at this lady and do some kind of maneuver wherein I like headbutt her in an attempt to make her drop the statue from just being jolted so bad.
Okay. So I will say that would do half physical damage, but then she would also have to make a reflex save throw to hold on to it.
I would.
No, you will do half damage because you're trying to make her drop it.
Okay.
Um,
That's a 12.
12. Is that including your +5?
Yes. Wait, that's
Okay.
+5, then 13.
13? Yeah, unfortunately, that's not quite enough. She is skipping back and just saying, no, it's mine, it's mine, it's mine. And that will bring it to you, Penton.
Okay.
So you've just dodged. Your feathers are literally singed from this firebomb that this lizard lady threw at you.
All right. I've had enough about enough of this lady. I don't want to be a bird anymore. So I'm gonna throw another scorching ray her way. I've got one more in my
arsenal. When you say
arsenal.
the lady, you mean the one holding the dragon?
Yes,
correct?
yes.
Okay, just checking.
I don't know about the lizard lady. I don't know if she's a lady or not. I don't know enough about lizard
Something
people
tells you it's a
anatomy.
They do not have human physical characteristics, but you can just, for some reason, you can tell it's female.
It's the pink
You
bow that really
scared
sets it off.
Exactly. A little tutu.
Right, so 15. Oh yeah, with my reflex. So that is 17 to hit.
That will hit.
All right,
Roll for damage.
and we'll be boosting this one again because I've had enough of this. Oh my. That'd be 28 points of damage.
28 points of damage. Describe to me what it looks like when you destroy this emaciated elf woman holding this dragon statue with your scorching ray.
All right. As I was dodging the plume of explosion, I would have gone upwards to try and get away from it. So I'm going to swoop down toward her and just basically burn a line that starts from the ground and just straight at her, and I'm sure she'll look in terror as this line comes up across like the straight up the middle of her body all the way from bottom to top.
So there's like a moment of, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die. And it just comes up the middle, and you see even at the last moment, she turns like trying to protect the statue, like as if it's her baby. And the line just whoop, right up the middle, and she is just incinerated. There is nothing left but a smoking skeleton with some meat on its bones. And she falls to the ground, and the statue, boom, 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 falls into the mud, and you see that spray 20 feet above y'all just go fit, 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 fit. And the clouds slowly start to part, and the rain stops. And y'all feel a little something happening. You feel yourself becoming humanoid again.
I'm going to land.
Very smart. Very smart. You land as the feathers kind of woof away from you in that last moment as you take a downbeat. Would anyone like to describe what it's like for them to become humanoid again?
Oh, it's like a Disney princess. It's like the beast turning back into the prince, like billows of light and magical lace. I like lift up in the air a little bit and light washes over me, and then I'm an orc again.
So it's like the end of Shrek.
Yes, it's exactly like the end of Shrek.
That is canon of how you change back.
And so Tix's is quite the opposite. You have this crab that has been knocked down into the mud and is rising up covered in mud. This diminutive crab growing into this mud-covered gnome holding a very angry axe.
Oh yeah.
Yes, and you hear Destiny Seeker say, "Finally!" It was very incensed at being transformed into a claw.
I'm sure. Penton just goes into a glittery poof and becomes himself again.
It's very casual, just like poof, poof, and he's just like, yeah.
Oh, hey guys.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Yeah, and like you're just your robes are just resplendent, and you look awesome and just like effortless. And all around y'all, especially in the area where the pins are, not everyone, by the way, because a lot of these are just animals, but a great many of them were various intelligent races who were turned into animals, and they began to regain their humanoid shapes. And as you correctly guessed, not too happy about all of this, and just pandemonium is getting in. And the albino woman lizard who is trying to pick her way out of the spider web turns and points at you and says, "You will die for this!" And that's where we'll end Chafing Armor, episode 66. Thank you all for playing today.
Happy
I
to.
greatly enjoyed having a orc magical girl transformation.
That's right. That's right. We're going to spend the next 14 hours animating that.
Excellent.
We're going to get started on that right away.
Well, that sounds real boring.
Bum. Thank you all for playing animals for me today.
On
Happy
all
to.
levels
For not
except
killing us.
physical, I am a wolf.
Bird form, I hardly knew ye.
And we will roll with you soon.